I got my public safety diver certification for absolutely free. How did I do that? Let's dive in and find out. Very few things in life are free, but I was actually able to get my certification for public safety diving for free. However, it did come with some caveats, but don't worry, I'm going to walk you through the entire process and offer my insights on how you can obtain your certification in a way that offers you the best path towards success. So stick around to the end because I'll be giving out a piece of advice that I normally don't give to you guys in other videos. When I moved back to Texas from California, I had already been diving for over a decade. I was looking for a way to volunteer because I believe that it's important to give back to the community. It's important as a diver and a person to be personally invested in where you live in order to make it a better place. Whether it's cleanup dives, beach cleanups, or some other form of volunteer work. Well, Texas, like many other states, has a constitutional state defense force called the Texas State Guard. It falls under the Texas Military Department, which is the same umbrella that oversees the Texas National Guard and the Texas Air National Guard. The State Guard at the time had a FEMA Type 2 dive team. So I started off working on boats and as a tender, which is a shore-based role. PSD divers are connected to their tender via lines, and these lines are used for a couple different reasons. One is communication by using line pulls, and the other is safety. If something goes wrong, then either a second diver can follow that line to assist, or the diver can be pulled out via that line. Now, some of you might say, that's not for me, or that's not what I want to do. But I would encourage you to learn the skills because they are very valuable. And I did this until the next PSD class opened so that I could go through the training. The training I went through, in my opinion, was fun and exciting. It was a mix between classroom, pool work, and open water scenarios. And these included search and recovery while dealing with entanglements, lift training exercises with boats and automobiles, simulations trainings for hurricanes, floods, and much more. All of this was provided at no cost to myself for the training. However, I traveled all over the state and I had to cover the cost of fuel and vehicle maintenance. Lodging was always taken care of either at barracks on a base or by crashing at a very big dive locker that we had down in Canyon Lake, Texas, which if you've never been, I highly recommend that you pay that area a visit. The lake, along with the neighboring towns, are very beautiful, and my favorite was Wimberley, Texas. For food, the team pitched in sort of how some fire departments do, and we had a designated cookie to handle all meals. Overall, it was very little investment on my part for the level of training that I received. Now, in order to be admitted into the dive program, you have to be certified up to the rescue diver level, and that provides the perfect transition to the next question. What courses would you benefit the most from to prepare for PSD training? Well, I have a few in mind. First on this list is full face mask. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. If you want to be a public safety diver, then you're going to have to be certified for full face mask. Every department uses them, and if you want my advice, you do well to invest in an OTS Guardian. They have the majority of the market and are everywhere. The second course you want to invest in is dry suit. Again, another tool that you'll be using, especially when it gets into the winter months, early fall, or for even some of you year-round. When doing the daily task and handling the workload, the last thing that you want to do is be cold underwater. And depending on what job you're on, you could be in one spot for quite a while. And as we all know, if you're not moving through the water, then you'll eventually get cold. It's just a part of doing business. So do yourself a favor and invest in a quality dry suit and training. The third course to help you along in getting a PSD diver certification is search and recovery. I don't think this one needs explaining, but we'll do it anyway. In PSD diving, you're almost always going to be doing a search and recovery dive. Normally, by the time that we get called to the scene, rescue is already off the table, and it's just about finding that person or object that may be missing under the surface. So it seems like a no-brainer that this should be on your list to take. However, don't just sign up for it at your local dive shop blindly. Speak with the instructor and ask what skills you will learn and what exercises you will execute during the course. Just below in the description, you'll see a link which is a PDF form of the FEMA diver level requirements, and in it, it describes what each level of diver and dive team must be able to execute. The fourth course is night/limited visibility. If you think, especially here in Florida, that as a PSD diver, you'll be diving in beautiful turquoise waters, then don't apply. PSD divers are almost always diving in muddy, low-level viz environments. For example, the majority of my dives were in lakes, rivers, some offshore, and a lot of those retention ponds outside of apartment complexes. You know, the ones that are littered with duck shit. Even more of a reason to be in a full face mask. Now, at the beginning of this video, I told you that I was going to give you advice that I normally don't, and here it is. I normally say that when choosing where to take your course, choose your instructor and that the agency doesn't matter. Well, that's not always the case in public safety diver training. When choosing where to take your course, you want to make sure that your training will reflect those skills listed in the FEMA document linked down in the description. These certifications aren't always universally accepted. It's more in line with the qualifications that you possess. ERDI is the leading training agency in public safety diving. They are the big boys on the block. Was I trained and certified by them? No. I was trained under a smaller agency called SEI, Scuba Educators International. Now, I was lucky that my leaders developed the team and training to reflect a level 2 FEMA dive team. Shout out to Warrant Officers Shu and Klutz. Let me know down in the comments if you're a public safety diver and what type of support your team provides, or if you're thinking about joining your local team. I'm always willing to provide any guidance or answer any questions you guys may have, and if you'd like to take any of those courses to help you prepare, I'd be happy to help you guys out with that. I'll be back next week with another video, but until then, plan your dive and dive your plan.